So quickly, I want to kind of show you what's going to happen with a when we increase it or decrease it. And so if you remember correctly, we have our mother function, and our mother function is always when y equals x squared, or in other words, when a is equal to 1. So right now, we have our mother function, right? A is 1, so you pretty much are just looking at y equals ax squared. And then I also set b and c to 0, and we'll mess with those in the future. So let's kind of look at this. As we increase a, you're going to see, oh, maybe not, hold on, there we go. As we increase a, you are going to see that our parabola actually gets smaller and smaller and smaller and more steep, okay? And then as we decrease a, right, you can see that the larger the number, the wider your parabola. Okay, and then we can also go into the negative and see that's the exact same idea, right? So if you're looking at fractions for your a, that means you're going to have a pretty wide parabola. If you're looking at whole numbers or a large fraction, you're looking at something that's going to be very, very thin. And then finally, I kind of want to just show you this last piece on how to graph a parabola. And so there's steps to this. The first thing you always want to do is you want to create a table. And I always like to use -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. They're clean, nice numbers, and they're usually already on a coordinate grid, so they're easy to graph. And so the first step that you do when you're looking at a parabola or a quadratic function is that you're going to create your x's, -1 or 2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Now, keep in mind that you could really choose any number, but these are just nice numbers. And then you just plug them into your equation and you solve. So if we're looking at y equals 2x squared, well, then you plug in -2. -2 times -2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and you just go through that process. Once you have done created your table and you have, I like to do at least 5 x's and y's. You just plot them on your coordinate grid and you draw your line. And that's the gist of it. Yesterday, if you don't remember, I told you how to find a when you're looking at a quadratic function. I think I got a little lost with your question. So how I showed you to find a yesterday is incorrect. So just kind of ignore that. I'm going to teach you about all the pieces and how to graph quadratic functions. And then we'll kind of look at how to create equations from a graph of a quadratic function. I think really breaking it down this way will help you better understand it and see where to go from there. So just kind of focus on graphing your quadratic functions and finding those pieces, and we'll move on from there later. Let me know if you have any questions, Joel, but you can go ahead and start the activity.